Good morning everybody, it's Graham once again from Unearthed and another episode of Detecting Talk. This particular episode is based around a current theme that continues to go round and round every week it seems, based on rallies and organised digs. Now you guys that are avid detectorists that watch this channel will sometimes come across people a little bit disgruntled about rallies and organised digs up and down the country. Some good, some bad, some indifferent. So this talk today is based around the rights and the wrongs, the do's and the don'ts, and try my very best in a subtle way to put the record straight on some of these digs that go on throughout the year. So for example, we run our own unearthed organised digs. We don't like using the word rally. We call them organised digs because that's exactly what they are. We all work as a team to uncover the history on people's farms, landowners' properties and the fields surrounding a particular area, to uncover the history and give the information back to the landowner and everything else that goes and comes along with it. So it's a very successful method and a very successful model that we use. Handpick the people, good customers of Unearthed, happy days, things can't really go wrong. Touch wood, things haven't gone wrong, and long may that last. But there is also a different side to organised digs and rallies where new guys are coming into the hobby that have maybe only been detecting for a short period of time. They immediately think that they can go into the organised dig game and the rally game, and you know, who can blame some of them? You know, it's it ticks their box and floats their boat, who can blame them doing it? However, you've got to be a bit careful, I think, because I hear it time and time again that people are running organised digs and rallies on land that's been absolutely hammered by detectorists in the past. They ain't really going to find a great deal. However, the rally organisers try to convince people that it's virgin land, and that's a really dishonest thing to do, and it happens quite a lot, believe me, it happens quite a lot. So the advice I can give to individuals that are attending rallies and organised digs is stick with the ones that are successful and do it the correct way. So for example, there's one or two guys in the south that do really smart rallies, very well organised. You look at the midweek searchers who operate obviously midweek because that's what they're called, but they also do weekend digs for people. And then they have a very successful model that puts a heck of a lot of fines in people's pockets, I have to say. Now, you know, you can argue the fact that if it wasn't for these rallies and organised digs, there'd be a lot of people out there with a pretty shoddy looking collection of coins and artifacts, believe me. So they tick a heck of a box for people that can't necessarily get permission on certain land. I mean, there's a lot of people that attend rallies and organised digs that haven't got permission at all. They just cannot, for whatever reason, gain that magical permission to do their own detecting, so they rely heavily on rallies and organised digs. So that's where it comes into its own. So that's where rallies really work. It helps people get access to land and enjoy the hobby of detecting, whereas if they didn't exist, they wouldn't have had that opportunity, or they probably wouldn't even be detected in the first place because they just simply can't get the land. So there's a lot to be said for these rallies. They do help people, they do tick a lot of boxes for people. However, there is some pretty dodgy rally organisers out there. You know, just be careful again, just like the last video when we talked about the live draws on Facebook and social media to win a detector and everything else. There's good and bad in the rally scene. On the rally scene, you've got to be really careful with it. Like I said, we do our own. It's a successful model. Others in the country do their own, which is a successful model. But you also hear from time to time individuals having a real go about rally organisers coming onto particular permissions and stealing the land off the individual and private detectorists. You know, day turns to night for some of these detectorists where they're out detecting on the field one weekend, they're having a really good time, they've got the permission, they've had the permission for 5 or 6 years as an example, and then the next weekend they go, to their horror, the farmers told them that there's going to be an organised rally on their permission. It's a landowner's land, It's the farmer's land, they own it, they've got the say in it. The individual and private detectorist feels very, very disgruntled, and I can understand that. I would hate the fact that my own permissions would be taken up by rally organisers, but that's the fact and the way the world works. I mean, they just come along and in their mind they're not doing anything wrong. They probably don't even know there's an individual detectorist on there. So it's a very difficult. You're between a rock and a hard place on which one to support. I mean, the private detectorists I've got a lot of sympathy for, where they get their particular permissions taken over by rallies and organised digs. What is the answer to it, folks? Some of you guys out there that detect and have had this problem over the years may have the solution to it. So let's hear from you guys. Leave a comment. It'd be interesting to see some of the feedback of you guys. If you've ever lost permission to an organised dig or a rally group, how have you took it? Have you took it on the chin? Have you kicked off about it? Have you approached the rally organiser and landowner? It's one of them. I mean, if it happened to me, the chance, who knows? It could happen to anybody. I would probably organise a meeting with the rally organiser and say, listen, I know you guys are on here. I can understand why the farmers let you on. You're probably raising money for charity. You're probably giving the farmer a few quid. I've also got permission on here, so let's respect each other. It might be the case that you attend yourself on the rally on the land that you've been detected on, or in some cases you may have a wry smile to yourself and think to yourself, well, I've been detected on that particular field or fields for the last 10 years, so they're more than welcome to go on it. So it'll be interesting to see some of the feedback, but there is, like I said earlier, there's some really odd, strange, undesirable rally organisers that will try to put you on virgin land when they know and other people know that the particular land and fields have been absolutely hammered. It happened to us once when we were on a rally. The rally organiser claimed to have secured 400 acres of virgin detecting land, and I was pretty much hook, line and sinker, didn't thinking it was the case until mid-morning when a detectorist wandered past me and said, "Hi, how are you?" Introduced himself and said, "Oh, I've been detecting on these fields for the last 5-6 years." So the virgin land theory went right out of the window then, and he wasn't alone. There was a small group of them that used to detect on it. They only turned up that particular day because they found stuff in the past and they thought they would find more on that particular rally. So you've just got to be careful. Make sure you look for the guys that do the business, the guys that are up above board. They know what they're doing. They've been successful. They've got a successful model and they've been doing it for a number of years. Stay clear of these guys that claim to have the best land available, virgin land. The guys that have only been doing it for a short period, and if they're getting a bit of bad press on Facebook and social media, and that continues to grow and grow, as the old saying is, there's no smoke without fire. There is something sadly wrong going on. Give them a wide berth is my advice. But let's hear some of your feedback, good and bad, about organised digs and rallies. Like I said, they tick a lot of boxes for people. A lot of boxes. I mean, my first gold hammered coin came off an organised dig. I have to say it. I love my own private detecting. I'm not really a big rally goer. I'm not I've probably been on maybe a dozen rallies maybe a bit more, maybe 20 rallies over my 38 years of detecting, so it's not a lot. And I have to say I've enjoyed some and hated some, but I have found gold hammered on it. So it worked for me for that particular find. But there's a lot of horror stories out there, so you've just got to be careful that you pick the right people and the right team to go along with. Right, so that's that one. It'd be I think this would be an interesting topic. I really do. I think there'll be some really interesting feedback from you guys on this particular theme. It's not a nice situation to be in. I can see both sides. I can see why rally organisers do it, because they do an awesome job at putting people on land that they wouldn't necessarily get access to, which is fantastic. They do a lot of research, some of these rally organisers, and put you right on the spot where you've got a really good chance of finding some choice artifacts and coins. But then again, there's the ones that just go out there purely for greed and money, hoovering up large pieces of land that's been already detected on, and trying to fool and hoodwink people into thinking it's virgin land. Some of them, sadly, even bury and scatter coins on the arable land as natural finds, and that's been proved. It's been proved by myself many years ago and others. That brings the whole rally game into disrepute. So you've got to be absolutely 100% sure that you are running with the right guys. If that's my advice on this particular film. So moving on quickly, I want to see if I can get this film wrapped up within the 10-12 minutes magic period. The next detecting talk will be this Friday, and I'm going to see if I can do it on a theme about detectorists. Now, we all have seen from time to time detectorists out on the fields detecting, and they have all sorts of weird techniques, if that's the right word. Some go slow, some go fast, some have the coils up in the air, some have them 8 inches, 12 inches, 15 inches off the ground. Some only cover a small area of their coil until the coil's lifted either side, and they'll detect like that pretty much all day. So they're just covering what they're walking in front of them, missing the whole band of finds around them. I'm going to see if I can do a short film how people should use a detector correctly. Now that sounds patronising to some of you guys out there that have been detecting a long time and know exactly what you're doing, but believe me, there's a heck of a lot of people out there that do not even know how to swing a detector correctly. So I'm going to see if I can do a short video, short film on the test bed of how I detect using the arc method, as I call it. Coil as low to the floor as you possibly can. If it's anything off the ground, you're going to lose depth, you're going to lose finds. The right method will put your finds rate up, believe me. So that'll be an interesting film, and it's not about talking to seasoned detectorists out there, it's more aimed at the guys that have been doing the hobby for a short period of time and go out detecting with their friends and they think their method is perfectly fine, only to their horror they find out they're losing valuable ground coverage, and ground coverage equals fines, as you guys know. So let's see if we can sort that one out. Good luck if you're out detecting this week. This weekend we're at the Viking Festival at Heysham, and the week after I'll be out detecting. Yee, thank God. Good luck if you're out this weekend also, and I'll catch you on Friday. Bye for now.